Sandberg. Andy Sandberg? Adam Sandberg. Is it Andy or is it Adam? Is it Andy Sandberg? It's Andy, isn't it? Big ooh woo moment. I love art. It's your boy Nate, here with another top 10 list. If you're new here, I'm Nathan. I usually read books, but I also love movies just as much. And so here is my top 10 list of movies for 2022. Did want to preface though that this will be a mix of older films and films from 2022 because the oldies, they deserve respect. You gotta respect them. I watched 117 movies in 2022. Not bad, if I do so say myself. Yeah. Wanted to start with some honorable mentions though. What's the first things that I thought about putting in my top 10, but didn't quite make it. But Chippendale Rescue Rangers from this year. A mix of cartoons and real life. It plays with that old Who Framed Roger Rabbit and so many different cartoon characters. Ugly Sonic, characters from different fields of the universe in cartoon world. It was just such a delight with John Mulaney and Adam Sandberg. Andy Sandberg? Adam Sandberg. Is it Andy or is it Adam? Is it Andy Sandberg? It's Andy, isn't it? It's Andy. It's Andy. Just lots of fun that gave me Lego Movie energy and yet still very deep-rooted in John Mulaney humor, and yeah, quite a delight. Next up was Manila in the Claws of Light from 1975, about a Filipino construction worker set during the backdrop of poverty-stricken Manila during the early 70s, mid-70s. And yeah, I feel like we just don't get enough narratives from Filipino cinema, and this was such eye-opening film into looking at different places at different times and what those countries were going through, but also what artists were thinking about. It's incredibly daring, queer, and profound in exploring the narrative of lower working class individuals during that time. Manila in the Claws of Light. Phenomenal. Next up, I want to mention Possession from 1981 from Poland. A psychological thriller drama that's... Oof, that end. Let me tell you. Mouth dropped to the floor. I was like, what the fuck is that? But incredible. Incredible performance by... what's her face? Isabelle Adjani. Incredible. The subway scene. Incredible. Next, I want to mention Great Freedom from 2021. Explores queer longing and yearning, done so beautiful in a prison, and very much about the imprisonment of the queer body and what it means to be trapped in it. And so, there are some scenes in there that were just so tender. The most tender I've ever seen in any films of my viewing experience in 2022. A gorgeous, gorgeous film. Next up, I want to mention Funny Pages, last but not least, from 2022. Funny, dark, ugly, gross. You immediately get put into this realm of ugly characters about a high school kid who wants to become a great comic book artist. Really explodes in the last half in this sort of whistling tea kettle kind of way that ends in this wackiness of what the fuckery that's just so entertaining, funny, sad in a way. And yeah, it's just short punchy and straight to the point. Fun film. And okay, my top 10. Y'all ready for this? Number 10. Starting with Memoria by Apichatpong, Thai film director, with Tilda Swinton, and she has a condition where she hears these loud thumps. And yeah, I could not stop thinking about time, memory, and what it means to share those things with strangers and the people you know now and the people you knew then, and even the changes within the same person. And yeah, it's just this beautiful look at what it means to unfold the object of art and get to the core shape of it all. There's this gorgeous scene where she's in the recording studio and she's relaying to this sound producer what this thumping sounds like, and she goes into great detail of like how far away it sounds, how close it sounds in the body, and how many vibrations there are. It's just such a gorgeous way of looking at how art is formed and how we relay what the art is to others. Number 9. Is Cha Cha Real Smooth. Yeah, friend described this as Cooper Rife is the Nora Ephron for millennials. My friend described, and I thought that was pretty accurate. Hits home and the heart so hard in what it means to be lost in your 20s. And we get an incredible performance from Dakota Johnson as well as Cooper. I want to talk about this one scene at the end of the film. Doesn't spoil anything, but he comes home from work and his mom is in the living room painting, and he tells her, "Thank you so much for a wonderful childhood." And I don't know, we get notes of Mike Mills, 20th century women, and just like the lightheartedness that just grips the heart so well. It's so beautifully done. It's funny, it's sad, and will definitely pull at the whole heartstrings. So Cha Cha Real Smooth, real good. Number 8. My number 8 goes to Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Wow, hope is the only word that comes to mind when I think of this film. So much hope, and definitely a film that we all needed in, post-COVID. And such a delight, so funny, so sweet, so big ooh-woo moment, this entire film. And there's this one scene where Marcel gives a house tour and calls their bedroom the bread room because they literally sleep on 2 slices of bread. It was great. Great. Such a delight. Film gives so much hope, it will melt your heart. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Number 7. My number 7 goes to Skinamarink. Skinamarink. Okay, you know that feeling when you're a kid and you are trying to go to bed, but you can't because the fridge is making some noises, the clock is like ticking way too loud, and there's a shadow in the corner of your room and it's looking at you, and you turn and it's just a pile of clothes or whatever, but you go back and try to sleep and it's looking at you? This movie, you have to be patient with it, and it's either you hate it or you love it. But once you step in, 30 minutes in, it just creeps under your skin, and you are met with just the natural terrors a child embodies because it's dark. And that's the entire film. I have to give credit to films that try to do different things, and this whole film was definitely here for the vibes, but the vibes are fucking scary. Incredible. Number 6. This goes to Bones and All by Luca Guadagnino. How can you not? We love Luca. How does he do horror and romance so damn well? And Timmy. We love Timmy. I'm a Timmy stan. We love him. Timmy, I love you. I probably shouldn't admit stuff like that online, huh? Bones and All. Real good scene that I always remember when I think about it is early on in the film, our protagonist tries to run over to her friend's house to make it to a sleepover. While doing so, we have these beautiful shadows of trees and branches painted across this trailer park home, and it's just so beautiful. The rustling of the leaves, the way she sneaks past and through the shadows into terror. Cannibalistic terror. Incredible. Number 5. Goes to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. How can you not? Probably was very close to my number 1 on the list for a while, but an incredible, again, post-pandemic, let's go back to the movies, theater experience. Riotous laughter, people cheering, and an incredible absurdism that carries you from start to finish without a moment to breathe, and done so well. And you do get a moment to breathe, maybe a few moments, but the one that I think of is the rock scene. And when that moment occurs, you are just met with this serenity, this like breath of fresh air, and yeah, lets you know that this is why we go to the movies. This is why we step into the dark in a movie theater and sit with a story for 2 hours or so. Incredible. By the Daniels. Really excited to see their future work. At number 4. Number 4, we have Decision to Leave from this year by Park Chan-ok. From an editing perspective, incredibly detailed, incredibly cool. One scene that I can remember that was really, really cool was we look up at the mountains from an eye covered in ants, and we see the film from the perspective of a dead person. And yeah, every scene is intentional, every frame, there's something going on in everything, and it's just such a fun Rubik's Cube of a movie that requires at least 2 or 3 watches, and that's what a film should be. It's something that should call you back again and again to take sight of all of these little details that add up into this incredible story. Probably the most romantic movie of the year for me, in ties with great freedom when it comes to tenderness and romance. An incredibly cool film. Watch it. My number 3. Tar. Lydia Tarr, Todd Fields from 2022. I know a lot of people didn't like this movie. My friend slept through it. It's everything you could want. We get a character study of Lydia Tarr within the hierarchical industry of orchestraic music. And it's a film that requires audience participation as much as the story is so engrossing. And that's also why we go to the movies. We go to the movies to do a bit of work in the dark, empathizing or not, and understanding where this character is coming from. And being struck by split paths of what is right and what is wrong. And you leave the film with some really interesting discussions with people beyond what they liked or didn't like about it, but what this film was doing, what it says about society at large, what it says about people in our workplace, the relationships that we're in, the hierarchical power struggles that occur, how we shift dynamics within relationships with anyone in everything. Having heard a few podcasts and reviews on Letterboxd from other people, it was just really interesting to see where everyone was coming from and what the film meant to them. And that's why we go to the movies. That's what's great about stories, when we can have these really hard conversations and reveal parts of ourselves. And it's so incredibly human. My favorite scene is when Lydia Tarr and her partner embrace each other in a dance, a slow dance, and she says, let's slow this down to 60 beats per minute, and puts on Here's That Rainy Day by Jimmy Van Heusen, which is an incredibly gorgeous, sweet, rich song that's very Jackie Gleason-y, and loved it. Also, Tilda Swinton is a force not to be reckoned with. Very much her, very much a role built for her, and yeah, knocked it out of the park. Okay, number 2.
I love you.
Love you.
We're here, last 2, let's do it. Goes to After Sun, 2022. Just watch it. Just watch it, please. For your heart's sake, just watch it. I no words, really. Just phenomenal in its quietness, in the way it creeps under your skin, and once you realize what's going on and what the film is doing and capturing memory, all the way to the end. The end. It's such a beautiful film with so many layers that's trying to understand itself as it does its grand mental striptease. And you're there along with it. And it's just such a beautiful experience. Go watch After Sun. The best thing you'll do for yourself. Okay, and drum roll please, my number 1. Movie of the year of 2022 actually doesn't go to a movie from 2022. It's from 1993, A Touch of Fever by Ryosuke Hashiguchi. I don't know how I found this film, and I gatekept it like for a really long time. I didn't want anybody to see this movie because it was just so precious to me, and I couldn't let anybody know about it. But here you go. Now you know. A Touch of Fever. Okay, let me read the premise real quick for you. We have 2 young male hustlers. There's an older one who disconnects himself from his emotions in order to perform his job, and a younger one who grows uncomfortable with the work once he has fallen in love with the other one. There are just ways in which Ryosuke is so skilled at setting up his scenes and blocking his characters. And you have, most of the times, these characters in confined spaces. And Ryosuke, with so much heart, allows the actors to go so much inside of their characters in search of freedom. In every single scene where characters are interacting with each other, there is this need, desire to express freedom, their own self-freedom in some way. And it's within these confined spaces that these characters are able to do that. That is so beautiful. That ending, oh, my heart. So much occurs and so much work comes out of those actors and those characters that it's film. That's film, and it's beautiful. The way that we see so much of compassion Ryosuke has for his characters within these little freedoms that they're trying to express. It's a film I think about almost every day, and I kind of want to rewatch it now. But yeah, that's the top 10 movie-wise for 2022. Let me know what your top movie of 2022 is. And yeah, if you like this, like and subscribe. I mostly talk about books, but sometimes I talk about movies. I love talking about movies as much as I love talking about books, because art. I love art. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. Be well, do good work, keep in touch.